Chaksurmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vasakans Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Dhruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vivacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranitananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 11, the universal form, text number 50. Sanjaya Vacha Ityarjavam Vasudeva Sathoktva Swakam Rupam Darshayam Asabhuyaha Ashvasayam Asa Chabitam Einam Budva Punak Somya Vapura Mahatma Sanjaya Vacha Ityarjavam Vasudeva Sathoktva Swakam Rupam Darshayam Asabhuyaha Ashvasayam Asachibitamenam Budva Punak Somya Vapura Mahatma Sanjaya Vacha, Sanjaya said, Iti, thus, Arjunam, unto Arjuna, Vasudeva, Krishna, Tata, in that way, Uktva, speaking, Swakam, his own, Rupam, form, Darshayam, Asa, showed, Bhuyaha, again, Ashvasayam, Asa, encourage, Cha, also, Bitam, fearful, Ainam, him, Budva, becoming, Punaha, again, Somyavapu, the beautiful form, Mahatma, the Great One. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real forearm, and at last showed his two-arm forearm, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Purport. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed Narayan. But when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-handed form. But since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again, and then showed himself in his two-handed form. The word Somya Vapu is very significant. Somya Vapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form, and because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 538 it is stated, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. Only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Shri Krishna. Sanjaya Vacha Ityarjavam Vasudeva Satoktva Swakam Rupam Darshamasa Bhuyaha Ashvasyam Asajabitamainam Bhutva Punak Samya Vapura Mahatma. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real forearm form, and at last showed his two-arm form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskyatyade Sadharne. In the 11th chapter, Krishna is practically showing his different manifestations in this material universe, known as the universal form. In the 10th chapter, Arjuna was shown how Krishna has manifested himself in this world. Vedaham samatitani avachi. Vedaham Vasudevosmi. Actually, that's not right. Rudranam Vasudevosmi. Pandit Vasudeva. Anyway, I forget. Adityanamaham Vishnur Jyoti Samrava Am Sumam Marachir Maratam Asmi Nakshatra Namaham Shashi. Of the Adityas, I am Adityanamaham Vishnu. I am Vishnu. Adityanamaham Vishnu. And Krishna says, Aham Atma Gudakesha. I am the super soul dwelling in everyone's heart. Of the Prahladas, Chasmi Daitanam, amongst the demons, I am Prahlad. Prahlada Kala Kaliyatamaham, among subduers, I am time. So many different manifestations in this material world. Krishna is explaining that all these things belong to him. Now we ourselves, we're looking at the world and we're saying that everything belongs potentially to me. So that's the difference between Krishna consciousness and material consciousness. When we think so many things are mine, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that so much is mine today. Idam maya, idam labha maya, idam maya, idam adya maya, idam adya maya labdvam, imam prapse manoratam, idam astiyam api me bhavishati parardanam, asto maya hatak shatror, hanishe chaparanapi, ishvaraham hambogi, stiraham balavan sukhi. Adyo bijanavanasmi konosti sadrisho maya yakshe dasyami modisha itya gyana vimohitaha. So much is mine today, and I'll gain more in the future. So much wealth do I have, and I'll get more and more and more. So this is the vision that the materialist has because he's been trained that way. Modern education means to see everything from the point of view of the materialistic speculations. That in the beginning there was nothing, and that of nothing everything came. And because because the conclusion of atheistic philosophy and so-called knowledge is sense gratification, therefore their intelligence has been stolen by illusion. The product of modern education, modern propaganda, modern mass communication, is that people have come to the conception that what is theirs, and what is everyone else's should be theirs also. The give and take theory. I give to you, you give to me, and I take from you. That's called give and take. Because our Siddhanta is everything belongs to Krishna. Ishavasham idam sarvam yat jagat jagam how does that go? Kam jagat tena tena bunjitaha ma grida kasya swidanam. That everything, both that we perceive and that what we do not perceive, everything pertains to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. That's our philosophy. And the philosophy of the materialist is that so many things belong to them. And because they think like that, therefore their intelligence has been taken away. Dhyayato vishayam pumsa sangaste shupajayate sangat sanjayate kama kama krodo pujayate. Their intelligence has been taken away by illusion. And because their intelligence has been taken away by illusion, they don't remember Krishna when they see things. They remember sense gratification. And because they remember sense gratification, therefore they're impelled by the modes of material nature to commit all kinds of sinful activities, which further take away their intelligence and impel them into the darker and darker regions of material existence. But our philosophy is to point out how, first of all, we're an illusion. Unless we have the perspective that we're an illusion, we won't change our lives. If we think my life is all right, but it could be better, my material life is not so bad, and perhaps with addition of Krishna consciousness, it might get better. So if we're attached to improving our material experience, then we won't make any progress spiritually. Therefore, knowledge is meant to convince us that we're in the wrong situation, that we're not this body. Unless we understand Krishna's first teaching in Bhagavad Gita and actually see through it, at least that much. Knowledge is not just meant to be in the book. Knowledge is meant for experience. And there's a science of gaining the experience of Krishna consciousness, and it begins by reading the book. If we don't read the books, if we don't study the books, if we don't hear the books, then we'll just hear whatever books we've read in college, whatever books we read in school, whatever our parents have told us, whatever the newspaper is telling us, whatever the internet or Facebook is telling us. That's what we'll remember. And that's how we'll see the world. And that means we'll see the world as an opportunity for material advancement and material sense gratification. So yes, we have to get knowledge from the right source, and we have to approach it with the right attitude, and that right attitude should be that this knowledge is so important that we have to take it into our heart. Unless we take the knowledge into our heart, then we don't take it very seriously. If we hear something important, then that interests us, that encourages us, that enlivens us, then naturally we'll remember it. And if we hear something that's not so interesting to us, not so important to us, then immediately we'll forget it. So unless this knowledge, we take it as significant, as wanting it to be part of our lives, part of our experience, or I should say, if we want this knowledge to be part of our lives, to be part of our experience, we have to at least put this knowledge into our heart so we have something to act out with. Because here it says, Ityarjvam Vasudeva Satogva Swakam Rupam Darsham Asabhuyaha Ashvasyam Asujabitamainam Budva Punak Somya Vapura Mahatma. So here it's glorifying the form of Krishna. Now we don't remember the form of Krishna, we don't remember his quality and his pastimes consistently because, as I said, we don't accept the basic philosophy. The basic philosophy is that we're eternal souls and now we're covered by illusion. And that illusion is we're misidentifying ourselves with these gross and subtle material bodies because we want to take Krishna's place. We want to utilize this material body and our words and our experiences through our mind in such a way that we want to experience what it would be like to be the center of other people's attention. What it would be like to be the enjoyers in this material world. What it would be like to experience the Radha and Krishna. Either I'm Radha or I'm Krishna, but somehow or another I'm the enjoyer and I'm controlling. First I'm controlling and then I'm enjoying through this material body. With my material intelligence, with my material conceptions, with my material body, I'm somehow or another influencing others so that I can enjoy in the material world. Either grossly or subtly. So to change that conception, not only I'm not this body, but I'm actually dasa, dasa, anudasa. Therefore we have to see things, we have to remember what we read, and then see things. Well, hear these books, try to see if we remember what it says in the book. Try to see if we understand what it said. Try to see how it's related to other things that is said in the books. And then try to perceive what is being said in this world. Perceive what Krishna is telling me, how he sees the world, how he wants me to see the world, how everyone and everything in this world is related to him, and then what's important for me to understand what is my priorities in this world to serve Krishna. What must I do? And what others should do in order to make progress in devotional service. Trying to not only gain knowledge, but gain perspective, what that knowledge is actually telling us. Then try to put it into practice with conviction. If we see things clearly, then we can act with conviction. And if we act with conviction, then we won't be distracted by unimportant things that go through our minds, and eventually we can concentrate our minds upon Krishna. So that's called the art of Krishna consciousness, is the art of focusing one's attention on Krishna. So that's our first business. Hear these books, try to remember what they say, try to understand what they say, try to see what they're saying, try to understand what it means in my practical life so that I can apply it with conviction, so that I remember Krishna and I remember Krishna's instructions. And what is that instructions? To engage, to Ishvaretad adineshu balisheshu svidvatsu cha prema maitri kripopeka yat karoti samadhyamaha. The instructions get above the material modes of nature, get above the conception that I'm supposed to enjoy even Krishna consciousness, or I'm supposed to make progress in the material world by Krishna consciousness. I'm supposed to avoid unpleasant circumstances and find happiness in Krishna consciousness externally. Instead, understand that in all circumstances, I'm supposed to try to please Krishna. In all circumstances, see how everyone and everything belongs to Krishna. In all circumstances, try to understand what Krishna wants me personally to do, how Krishna wants me to personally to think, how Krishna wants me personally to understand things. We cannot influence others. We can only influence our own desires to try to become Krishna's servant. The circumstances will always change, but what we have to keep fixed is our determination to serve Krishna, our willingness to serve Krishna, and our ability to see things properly. What Krishna wants us to do in that service. And what Krishna wants us to do is to love him, to serve him, and to serve his devotees, to cooperate with them in order to spread Krishna consciousness. Spread Krishna consciousness means basically we have to follow the previous acharyas, their instructions, and at the same time try to love Krishna, and by loving Krishna, love everyone and everything in relationship to Krishna. And to help innocent people, try to inspire innocent people to take up the process of hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Inspire innocent people to understand that they're eternal, that they're servants of Krishna, And only by becoming conscious of Krishna, only by loving Krishna, can they become happy and peaceful in this world. And to try to avoid so many distractions that are being put in this modern world to distract us from Krishna consciousness. From personally trying to improve our own Krishna consciousness and try to help others to the best of our capacity, make progress in devotional service and Krishna consciousness also. So to become skillful in the loving exchanges with Krishna and his devotees, with the innocent, and relationships with those who are not favorable towards Krishna consciousness. To learn a sense of transcendental discrimination, to see things properly. Who to engage in what kind of loving exchange. Who to respect within the mind but not associate with intimately. Who to cooperate with to spread Krishna consciousness, and who to take instructions from to further our absorption in Krishna consciousness and our dedication to pure devotional service. Transcendental expertise and discrimination. Discrimination to see properly who is on what level of experience in Krishna consciousness, who's opposed to Krishna consciousness, who's innocent, who's a devotee, and who is Krishna, and then expertly engage our body, mind, and words in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's service to help them make some progress towards reviving their relationship with Krishna. If we do that, if we practice that, then Krishna says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He'll give us the intelligence by which we can always associate with him. Smarta Vyaksaratam Vishnora Vismartak Chatuna Kinchit Sarva Vidi Nisedhyasyor Atyar Eva Kinkara. That the whole purpose is to always absorb our minds in Krishna. If we practice trying to help others become Krishna conscious, if we practice trying to help ourselves become Krishna conscious, then the result is we'll see others and we'll see ourselves in relation to Krishna, and we'll always remember him and we'll never forget him. But if we think Krishna consciousness is something separate from our relation with others, if we think Krishna consciousness is something mechanical or by accident, or only a select few can obtain to that level of devotional service or Krishna consciousness, if we maintain these misconceptions, then we won't be able to understand the simplicity of Krishna consciousness. That we have to take our hearing seriously, we have to remember what we hear, we have to meditate on what we hear, we have to understand what we hear, we have to see what we've heard, we have to apply in our lives with conviction what we've heard. We have to engage add to that our loving feelings towards Krishna and others and try to help them become Krishna conscious. And then Krishna will give us all the intelligence to always remember him and absorb our minds in Krishna consciousness. Which means that everything will be revealed to us by associating with Krishna and his pure devotees. The more we're able to focus our attention on Krishna and give our love to him in his different aspects, then the more everything will be revealed to us, and then we'll become more and more a perfect instrument for Krishna, and our material existence will cease to exist. Our material conceptions will cease, our material activities will cease, our material feelings will cease, and they'll be replaced by spiritual activities, spiritual feelings, spiritual conceptions, and an actual spiritual life. So here, that's what Arjuna wanted. He wanted to see Krishna not only in this world, in his universal form, he wanted to fix the original form of Krishna within his heart, And there's a process of doing that, and that's called pure devotional service. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishasi satyam te pratijani priyosime. Think about Krishna, become his devotee, worship him, surrender, offer obeisances to him, surrender to him, and then avoid unwanted association and go and distribute Krishna consciousness as far and wide as possible. Then Krishna will be pleased and our lives will be successful. So, thank you. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. In the broad sense, you have elaborated all the things in focused way. So my question is, Hare, just here, you explained the conviction in practicing the devotional service. So how can we get the conviction in our heart so that we can practice the activities despite the distractions surrounding us and gaining the faith and making the material situations into spiritual things, that you are selling up the values and feelings. So how can we get in the conviction level and practice in our sadhaka stage?
Hear from the books. Hear from Prabhupada and from his representatives. Remember what they said. At least, just like this class, at least remember one thing. And then, one conception, try to see it and apply it in our lives. Then the result, and then see what we shouldn't do also. See everything as Krishna explains it, and then learn from experience. The more we learn from experience, the more we learn from hearing, then the more we'll become convinced that this is a reality. And that reality is ultimately, everything here is Krishna's. I must find out from Krishna and his representatives, from Guru Sadhana and Shastra, what he wants me to do at this moment, and I should do it with conviction to please him. Then I'll remember Krishna, and that's the perfection of Krishna consciousness. And the more we remember Krishna, the more we experience the happiness of feeling Krishna's presence, then the more our conviction will grow that this is the actual way of becoming happy. Conviction means where I'm going to place my attention to find happiness. And when we follow the process of devotional service and become conscious of Krishna and feel happiness in that way, then I become convinced that this is the actual way of becoming happy. And then I can give up all the things that distract me from that happiness. Yes. Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your wonderful class, Maharaj. So the central theme around your class was that we focus ourselves in reading Srila Prabhupada's books and hearing from Srila Prabhupada and the spiritual master, right? So Maharaj, someone like you who has read Bhagavad Gita over 40 times and you are so determined for reading Prabhupada's books, so how can we develop that determination and the taste for reading Srila Prabhupada's books, Maharaj?
Just read every day. Just read a little bit every day and remember a little bit every day. Remember something, not like a parrot, but read something that has some meaning that we can apply within your life. And then apply it and see what the result is. These books are not meant for just gaining knowledge, they're meant for gaining experience. If we gain experience, then we'll like the books. We'll become attached to the books. We gain spiritual, something, happiness that we can't experience through the material in the material world by doing some practical activity, by doing some activity that we learn from the books, then we become attached to hearing some books. With the hope that by applying what the book says, I'll get more happiness. Unless we get some practical happiness, unless we get some real happiness through the results of hearing, remembering, understanding, applying within our lives what the books are, then the books don't have much meaning to us. So the result of hearing, remembering, perceiving, understanding, and applying should be that Krishna is pleased upon us, and He gives us the intelligence to be actually conscious of Krishna, conscious of Him, that we can actually feel His presence, we can feel what Krishna consciousness is, we can experience Krishna consciousness. Then the books will actually be attractive to us, because that's what they're all about, is how to become conscious of Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, like in this chapter, in this verse, before these verses, Arjuna means he doesn't like to again see the Virat form of the Lord. He wants to see the two-handed form or four-handed form of Lord Krishna. And it is said also in many purports, in Srila Prabhupada is saying that devotee is not interested to see the universal form of the Lord. But in Bhagavatam, we see that Parikshit Maharaj is very eager to know about the universal form of the Lord, how through his this universal form he is creating this universe. So how to understand this means?
Parikshit Maharaj is giving us the opportunity to understand things in relationship to Krishna. Because we look around the material world, we see everything but Krishna. In the beginning, when one is not very much advanced in Krishna consciousness, or even not at all Krishna conscious, then one should at least give some reverence to the things of this world as part of a universal form. But when one becomes advanced, like Arjuna was, and who actually was on the stage of prema, then seeing the universal form is not very useful for him, because he sees Krishna everywhere. So for a neophyte devotee, hearing about the universal form has value, and even a non-devotee hearing about how this universe is part of not an accidental creation, but comes from the Supreme, is helpful from overcoming a materialistic or impersonal conception of life. But for one who's in love with Krishna, that's not at all very attractive. So, at our stage, we're not in love with Krishna, and therefore, hearing about the universal form so that we understand that this world is not simply here for our exploitation is helpful, even for a beginning devotee. A little respect. One time Prabhupada was, some devotee was kicking I believe it was a pillow or something, I forget what it was. And Prabhupada said, you should not do that, that pillow is more sacred than you are, than your foot is, because it belongs to Krishna. So learn some respect. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. While reading, many times I have observed that whenever I am not able to understand some shlokas, I tend to, leave it and go ahead. So this tendency has formed that if you are not able to understand, don't give much endeavor and go ahead, and eventually you will understand. So how can I understand this, that all shlokas are important, but sometimes it happens I don't understand that?
Not everything is important. What is important for us is what we can understand and apply within our lives to help improve our devotional service and our Krishna consciousness. That's important. So find something that's important enough in our life that we can apply it within our lives and make progress in devotional service and become more conscious of Krishna. That's important. What the universe looks like, how to perceive the Virat Rupa, whatever. Things, or why how Vishnu creates the universe and his different manifestations, how Brahma's the secondary creation. These are not so important. What is important is give up contemplating the objects of the senses and utilize these objects in Krishna's service. That's important. Try to do something to spread, to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his representatives. That's important. Anything else? Just one more.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, you were saying that how to cut the illusion, increase your absorption in Krishna and read books. Otherwise, the by default input will be newspapers and Facebooks, etc. Maharaj, Krishna also says that bhaktya mama vijanati. So when Krishna says bhaktya mama vijanati, is it doing more practical hand seva, or is it more reading, hearing?
Anything, whatever, do something for Krishna. There are 9 processes of pure devotional service. Do one of them or more of them for Krishna. That's bhakti. For some people, hearing is important. For some, doing service is important. Whatever, but do something for Krishna. But do it in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, hearing is important, is the basic. Because if we don't hear about Krishna, then we won't do anything for Krishna. We may be apparently doing devotional service, but we're doing it to satisfy our false ego rather than trying to serve Krishna. So to understand at least how everything belongs to Krishna, everything is meant for Krishna's service, we should learn from Krishna's representatives how to apply whatever we're doing in Krishna's service to please him. That much should be there. And then whatever we do after that will be all right. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande Haribo.